bars in a raid. Man, I go hard like Santan.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Touchline Fracas. I'm joined this week by two familiar names, faces. Let me go around and introduce them. Semms, what are you saying, brother?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I wanted to ask, can we finally dispel the myth of me not coming on when Chelsea lose?
I don't think that was really attached to you per se. It's attached to the Chelsea Hour media machine. And because you come within the media machine, sometimes when you come on, you get tarred with a brush. But that was very much a motive pushed by Dan and Meads. Like, in terms of like yourself specifically, you don't do that, but it will still be mentioned when you're on. That's the kind of that's a lot of. To be fair to you, you confirmed your attendance like 60 seconds after.
Hey, well, that's what I was like.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying it was a coincidence or it weren't a coincidence, but maybe when we get to the award section, we might find out.
That was crazy. You confirmed that straight after. Oh yeah, I got some stuff to say, man. I hear you. And we're also joined by the good brother Julian. How you doing, Julian?
I'm good, man. I'm good. You know, results like today make these podcasts a lot easier. So I'm very happy, and I'm here with two fellow losers. So yeah, man.
Fellow suggests that you. Oh, we're the fellows, or you're a fellow with us?
Sorry. I'm your fellows with you on this Touchline podcast. But yeah, man.
We were the ones who lost. Yeah, fair enough. Before I start, I've got to do the usual and plug the socials. So the pod gets posted to YouTube every single week on the Touchline community. So give that a follow, subscribe, like, share. Obviously, we're on Spotify. We're on Apple Podcasts. Give us a rating, leave a comment. We're listening to that. Follow on Instagram, Touchline Community, and TikTok is Touchline Fracas. Visuals coming in the next few weeks. But let's just get into it. And the game of the week this week is Manchester United against Tottenham Hotspurs. Obviously, no Spurs fan on today. I'll just get straight into United, and obviously I'll come across to you guys. Actually, a pretty decent Prem performance for us, based on how we played in the last few months. I think someone was sharing a stat. It's like two wins in our last 8. We went into the game with a lot of injuries. Ahmad is out for the season, so just write it off. Just write it off. He was the only attacker who was consistently showing any sort of quality, any sort of fight. He was scoring goals. He was creating goals. Yeah. Losing him is going to, I don't know if we get 10 more points between now and the end of the season, if I'm being honest with you. Kobe Mainoo is out for at least 6 weeks. We already knew Martinez was out for the rest of the season. He was kind of coming back into top form, the sort of form he showed in his first season here. Luke Shaw then very quickly got re-injured, which is classic Luke Shaw. I guarantee you that if Martinez was still fit, Luke Shaw wouldn't have got re-injured. So anytime his place and position is under threat, you get the best of Luke Shaw. And the minute he feels safe, then you get what we've seen the vast majority of Manchester United career. So basically what that meant is that our best performers, some of our best players, they were all out. Obviously, we saw Rashford's cameo at Aston Villa. And I'm not going to get carried away because this is what people are doing after the first few games of Sancho at Chelsea. And I'm sure Semms will tell you that it hasn't quite panned out that way. But all in all, just a weekend of us being heavily damaged, which meant Carrington had to come to the rescue. We had a bunch of YGs on the bench, knew they weren't going to touch the pitch, but they're there anyway. And if we keep getting injuries, eventually they're going to have an opportunity to play. So going into the game, wasn't feeling confident at all. If you've watched our games, if you've listened to the pods, there's nothing there. Nothing there. We don't create. We can't defend. The structure's a mess. Individuals are poor. It's ridiculous. And I know we paid a lot to get him. We got rid of Erik ten Hag, and we had to pay him as well. And we've gotten rid of hundreds of staff, and it sounds like we're going to be getting rid of even more. But if the results continue the way they're continuing, I don't really know how we get to the end of the season and it isn't a serious look at his position, because you can't just keep losing. We're 15th in the table now. We've got 29 points after 25 games, -7 goal difference. We're behind Everton now. Our next game is away at Everton. It's it's not looking good. But speaking about today's game, yeah, like Spurs aren't much better than us, if I'm being honest with you. And in the last few weeks, it's probably the most chances I've seen us have, the most comfortable we've looked, the most threatening we've looked. But that still amounted to a 1-0 loss. That kind of sums up everything for you. But I'll come across to you guys to get your thoughts on how we did today. But yeah, I mean, yeah, don't know what much more to say, to be honest. It's just pathetic.
Yeah, I think the game was a mid-off, generally. But yeah, as you say, United created quite a few chances today. And I haven't watched all of United's games on Amazon, but the ones I have watched, one thing I've noticed, the theme I've noticed is that there is a severe lack of chance creation. There's a severe chance creation in the team. Generally, like you go through long spells in games without creating much, and it even happened today. I think you had a shot on target in like the 10th or so minute, and then didn't have another one on target to like the second half or something like that. I think they said it in commentary. So yeah, usually your games are very dull, very like lack chance creation. But today there was actually quite a few opportunities for United to score, and they arguably should have been ahead. I think the chance for Garnacho is absolutely criminal, because it's not even like, if you watch it again, it's not even like the ball sits up or anything like that. He just completely mishits it. And like the goal is gaping for him. That's the
ball striking experience of Alejandro Garnacho. His conversion of big chances, I think, is 2 out of 14 this season. He either overhits it, underhits it, misses the target, scuffs the shot. He cannot strike a football, plain and simple. And he gets chances, so it's killing me.
Yeah, because it's mad, because that is such that's just not a difficult chance. And if that goes in, that literally United could arguably go on and win that game, do you know what I'm saying? Or at least get a draw, because like you said, Spurs didn't look like they were ever going to really, for me, like double their lead at any point in the game. There was lots of transitions. So yeah, it spoke of two sides who are pretty poor, really. But yeah, if that goes in, I think United at least get a point, because Spurs weren't great. Do you know what I'm saying? So I think United have serious problems in attack, and I think we've been saying this for a while. Xerxes has decent quality moments on the ball, but obviously, like other attackers like Højlund and Garnacho, when it comes to like the kind of the finishing aspect, neither quite have it. So yeah, it's a team that doesn't really create much other than today in most of their games, and you know, they concede pretty much every other game as well. I'm interested to know how many clean sheets you've actually kept on the Amorim, because it seems like quite a few defeats of Old Trafford have been like by at least 2 goals. So it's like, you know, you can't defend, you can't score. It's obviously a recipe for continuous losses, and that's what we're seeing. I actually agree with what you're saying, even though I don't know how serious the United board are about reviewing his position, because they didn't get rid of Ten Hag in the summer. So I am very doubtful that you guys would be serious about reviewing his position at the end of the season, even though, to be fair, it will get to a point where you might actually have to, because 15th place under Everton and Palace, and it's like you've got 2 of your best players are out for the rest of the season. It could get worse than this. So potentially, like, they might actually have no choice. But yeah, it's very, very spooky. It is very, very spooky. I think structurally as well, there's massive issues, and that's where you have to look at the coach, because obviously beginning, like when Amorim came in, it's kind of like give him the benefit of the doubt, because you know your board didn't actually give him the time by appointing him in the summer kind of thing. Just it was kind of thrown in there mid-season. It's like, okay, cool, the squad is bad. Let's see if we can give him the benefit of the doubt for a little bit, and then assess him probably. But then when you look at kind of like the structure of the team, you look at the fact that the team barely creates in most games. Now that you're losing consistently as well, it's like you have to actually look at the manager and be like, okay, cool, you can't avoid any sort of blame here, like despite being in a difficult position.
Yeah, I think it's 3 clean sheets in 20 games.
Okay, yeah, there you go. Yeah. So it's very spooky, very, very spooky.
Yeah, I'm with Shems. It's mad that today was one of your, I would say, best looking performances in that the most recent weeks, especially against a top 6 side in a while. Today was one of those weird ones where I was watching United from a very low ratings kind of point of view. It's like, all right, they're United, so I'm not expecting much. So personally, today I was actually.
When's the last time you didn't feel like that though?
I would say honestly, like sometime on the ETH, like early last season, where I'm like, yeah, like. But nowadays it's kind of like part and parcel. If United lose, well, I'm not surprised. And the thing is with today's performance, I saw some things. Like I saw some things where I'm like, Højlund, for example. Usually for me, he's one of those guys where even when he gets the chance, he doesn't even get the chance to shoot. Like he's just running around doing a whole load of nothing. Bruno Fernandes in midfield today, I can't lie. I thought he was pretty okay, even though defensively I felt like he was getting ran through, but he was able to create chances here and there. The one thing I would say is that I really don't like that defense. That defense of yours is way too static. De Ligt and Maguire.
Same player.
For that first goal, I was like, maybe I'm being too harsh on De Ligt, but he could have reacted a bit better to Onana's save.
Do we? So there are a couple of questions. A, do we expect more from Onana in that situation? I.e., you've got to push it out further. And then secondly, your point about De Ligt's reaction, because how often do we see defenders like really pounce on the rebound when the keeper saves it? For me, the onus is more on like the keeper to really get a good connection and get it out of the danger area. But what do you guys think?
I thought I was being harsh because when I first saw it as well, I was like, Onana's either got to actually get like a strong save on it and catch it, but that's harsh to say. Or maybe, as you just said, pounce it away from a danger area. And it is harsh to look at De Ligt and be like, you should be able to react in a fast-paced match where Onana's literally just patted it away and should be able to look round. But yeah, it's picking up straws. So even today, the goal that you conceded, I was like, it's not a goal where you can be necessarily mad at. You weren't outplayed, like bopped from side to side. It was just an unfortunate deflection that De Ligt didn't get to. So yeah, man, this was one of those games where I was thoroughly surprised at how impressed I was by Man United, even though I don't think he played that well.
The bar's low. The bar is in hell. And I think that's really what we're comparing it to. Like people will be like, yeah, we was all right. Like teams are not going to be as open as the Spurs side are going to be as open as the Spurs side was. I think Xerxes was good today. Like he showed some good technique, good carrying of the ball, good play under pressure. You've got to be a goal threat, my brother. Højlund, we're at critical DEFCON 1, whatever they say, whatever it is. He didn't look good against this side. Yeah, he's cooked. He's absolutely cooked, man. I need the guy.
Like, he just doesn't offer any problems.
Yeah.
And then then it's cold feet in front of goal. So it's like
you never feel like he's gonna score, which is a big problem. There were chances today where I was like, if there was another Bagsman like in the league in this position, I can see them getting a goal, but I just didn't believe it.
But the thing is though, like I think early on in his career, I criticized him for his all-round play, not giving much in terms of not giving defenders much to think about. However, in front of goal, he looked pretty clean, like ball striking. Like
he was a good finisher.
It looked like he had finishing, as one thing, if not anything else. But now it's like that's even gone now. Do you know what I'm saying? So he's actually a non-entity at this point. It's just a non-entity. Do you know what I'm saying?
And then the issue is we have players injured. Now, this is our front three. This is our attackers. Garnacho, Højlund, and Xerxes from here on out.
Yeah, it's peak. It's actually peak.
Yeah, tense. That is absolutely tense.
Yeah.
Lebo, Grill, Sarave, and Teeth and Tats from here on out, man.
Yeah, and I'm thinking, does your squad even stretch for the Europa League competitions? I guess it's going to have to be the young G's, isn't it? Because I was looking at the bench today, I was like, right, like injuries are actually very peak. So I guess the young G's have to play in the Europa League at least, which kind of again lessens your chance of winning it. Even you never know what can happen, but it's a tough competition to win regardless.
Now at this point, we have to focus on that. Because that's the only way we get.
That's actually the only saving grace. Yeah,
that's the only my thing is like at this stage the teams aren't impressive, but once you get to the semis, finals, maybe even the quarters, the teams are similar quality to mid-table Prem teams at least. So how much damage can we really do? But just from a statistical perspective, I think it's round of 16, last 8, 7 games to get into the Champions League. We just have to go for it. Right? We're talking about I don't know if you guys saw, but there's rumors of us getting rid of more staff to make sure we have money to buy players in the summer. And so apparently Ineos put out a response basically, and this is what they said. Enya sent out the following email to United employees this evening. We are aware of media reports this week speculating on a number of issues relating to the club. We recognize this is unsettling for you all. In terms of what has been reported, there's no further information that we can share with you at this point. However, we will hold a team briefing on Monday, the 24th of February at 2:30 p.m., which will be able to talk to you further. It will come as no surprise that the club must explore every option, including reducing costs and raising revenues. There are no final decisions currently.
As a man that's been made redundant, I know what that sounds like. I heard that same language up until hey, we're just going to review meeting. That is fuck.
You know what's crazy, yeah? They've said, I know you're not hearing this peak with your jobs. We're not going to confirm or deny. Furthermore, we'll speak to you in 10 days. We'll speak to you in 10 days. But so for 10 days, you can have this hanging over your head. And we ain't ruling it out. Between now and then, you can't categorically say we ain't going to do it.
When they say that they're exploring all options,
yeah, your job's gone, brother.
But what do you think this changes, though? Like,
what do you mean?
If let's say they get rid of a few people internally, like
they're gonna get rid of enough people to allow them to spend money in summer, bro. That's what they're gonna do. That's what the accountants are. That's what the accountants are doing for the next 10 days. How do we get rid of the perfect number of people to be able to spend some money in summer? So they're clearly acknowledging the fact that the squad is quality poor. And if we have any chance of getting up the table, we need more quality. But to the Patreon episode I did with Elijah, Mugga Patreon, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. We have no money. We're already on the hook for like 150 million worth of amortized fees before we even start buying people. So we already have to pay 150 million this year. And that's before you then say you want to buy 3 or 4 players to improve your squad, right? Let's say you have 3 or 4 players. That's another 200 million. And that's 200 million amortized over 4 or 5 years. That's another 50 million. That's 200 million you have to pay just in transfer fees this year, right? So it's not looking good, basically.
Yeah.
And there's no way out at the minute.
Do you think Man United are taking this into account when they're assessing Amorim? Because even me, myself, as a fan, I'm just looking at your starting 11 and your squad, and most of them aren't Amorim's players, and most of them are players that even the club feels like it's a bust, and it's like, oh yeah, these are assets that we can basically no longer use. So do you think that the board are looking at Ineos, especially looking at Amorim, regardless of results, thinking this isn't his team? He hasn't been able to implement his style in the way that he's wanted to with the players that he's wanted to. So we can't necessarily judge him on the losses right now, as long as you can, I don't know, stay above 13th, I guess.
I think probably to a certain extent, but there's an extent where it just gets embarrassing.
Yeah.
There's an extent cool, like it's not your players, but there's an extent where it gets embarrassing, and I think it's at that stage now.
There's just a basic level of
competence.
Competence and coaching you expect to see. Like the team wasn't always like this. The team at a point had Abad, Ballin, and Mainu, and there were games where United lost, and there was just nothing by way of chance creation going forward. Just basic chance creation. You've got Bruno, Ahmad, on the pitch, and I don't know, another attacker. But them 2 players in particular, going forward, have shown they can produce quality. But as a team, there's just nothing going forward. Like that's really scary. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying you should win every game, but at least there needs to be a basics. There needs to be a baseline of competence in terms of how the team goes forward. And yeah, it's just maybe, and even just structure. Do you know what I'm saying? And I think all of that's missing. So I think he can't escape no criticism from me. Personally. It's not always fault, but he's not blameless.
Yeah, in 3 more games, he's picked up I think like 4 or 5 less points than Erik ten Hag in the Premier League. So I mean, we were at wit's end with Erik ten Hag. By the end, Erik ten Hag's side did not look this bad.
Yeah, because I remember like the Arsenal game and the City game and the Fulham game, but particularly the first 2 games, like those were big games, right? And like a lot of your players were there, like Lissandro was even there as well, and like there's a lot of like recycling the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, and I know you beat City, but like, and Arsenal weren't that impressive. But in those games, I was just looking at I was like, it's very toothless. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like, you know, they don't have a couple of players of quality. So it's just like, I was looking at Admiral and I was thinking, yeah, he looks a bit like he's got the handbrake on, but yeah, I don't know. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt, but it's turned out now that, boy, maybe it's a bit more than that, to be honest.
Yeah. I just really don't know what to make of it. Him, like, when he came in, he was a very clear, and he still is a very clear communicator, pre-game, post-game, liking what I'm hearing. I ain't reading it no more. I don't care. I ain't reading it. I ain't trying to hear it.
Bro.
I'm in one ear out the other, man. I just need some wins, my boy. If you told me, are we going to get 40 points in the league this season? We got 13 games left. We got 29 points. We got to pick up 11 points in the last 39 points. I don't know. We're not beating Everton at home. I tell you that for free.
And you got some big injuries as well. So like the players that you would actually look at to make a difference, they're cooked right now. So yeah, I see why you would.
Yeah, in our next 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we've got City at home. We're away at Nottingham Forest. We've got Arsenal. We're away at Everton. Then we've got Ipswich and Leicester. So unless we can win some games against some promoted sides, looking nasty. And like you say, like Ahmad was our real difference maker this season. Yeah. Without him, it's tough, man. So I don't envy him. It's absolutely impossible job, and I don't even know like what he'd need to do to make me feel like good or at least content and like, yeah, let's give this guy some money, let's go. But all I know is that this is not it. So yeah, we go again onto Everton. I think it's the 12:30 on Saturday as well. So the early all eyes on me slot. Just how you like it, man. Man.
Quickly on Spurs though, let's
keep on Spurs, man.
They looked alright. I really like the look of Tell. He looks electric, but he just needs to probably get the finishing a bit more on point. James Maddison, I think in the first half was pretty good. He was playing in some nice passes into the attack, and he was actually really helping. Kulusevski, I think second half he was a bit better than he was in the first. But yeah, that defense was putrid from Spurs. It was not good. Porro, Danzo, Ben Davis, and Jed Spence. Yeah, it was not moving mountains, but for some reason United couldn't score against it. So I'm surprised.
Yeah, I thought they were meaty, to be honest with you. I can see exactly why they are where they are in the table. But kudos to them. They won today, but they're meaty, man. They're not much. They're not, like I said, this is the best we've looked in weeks.
I'm trying to be fair. I'm trying to be nice.
John is cooked. Bergvall looked decent, I guess. I just wasn't impressed by them, to be honest with you. We had that chance at the 3 chances at the start between like Garnacho, Dallo. So you mentioned a chance Garnacho missed. Couple passes across the box where Xerxes and Højlund were late to get to the ball. I just don't really rate them, to be honest with you. I think they'll lose next week. So yeah, that's us. That's the mid-off, like Shem said. Let's move to the early kickoff today. Liverpool, you're coming off a 2-2 draw. Emotional game midweek against your rivals. Last game at Goodison Park. How are you feeling coming into this game, Julian?
I was feeling all right, man. I felt like Goodison Park was the fixture that was going to give us that was going to be a banana skin, and it inevitably happened. But so I feel like this game was going to be the bounce back game where we kind of get our ducks in a row and we're like, all right, let's actually start padding up. And it really did look like that going into the game. But I was kind of annoyed that Gakpo was injured. I was a bit like, wow, I've got an affinity to him now on that left-hand side. He's been really, really good on that left-hand side. And to have him replaced with Diaz, who did end up, to be fair, scoring today, I was a bit like, oof, we'll have to see what you've got, mate, because we should be beating the side that Wolves. As good as Cunha is, like, I think that's all they really have in that team, that in terms of quality, and it showed today. But it was a fixture that I was like, all right, we should be winning this, and we should be confident that we're going to get 3 points.
Yeah, agreed. Scored a great goal today. What did you think of the performance today? Because I've seen the Cop End PR post, but it's the main pod, it's a bit different. Yeah. What did you think of the performance today and just in the last few games?
I would say the performance today was definitely a game of two halves. I feel like the first half, especially the first, I would say 40 minutes, we had a foot on the gas. Like we was pretty good. It was pretty relentless. We created quite a few chances.
What happened in the last 5 minutes of the first half?
There was that one chance that they had, and we just and that was basically the one chance that they had. And then from that point onwards, I would say from that point onwards for the whole game, it was literally like that, like it was on the back foot. So to get the Diaz goal, that was good play from the front three. It was very fortunate that Salah was able to get Salah's pass was deflected over the top.
That pass, how was a miscontrol?
It was a pass to Jota. Massive miscontrol. It was a pass.
You pass on that, yeah? Okay.
Yeah, no, Salah's got that in the bag, you know. He does that a few times.
I mean, yes, he has. I thought that was a miscontrol, but continue.
No. He was I think it was even a pass to Jota. It wasn't a pass to Diaz. It was a pass to Jota, deflected over. Diaz was able to get some sort of finish on it. I mean, I should have put money on it because in my head, I was slandering the guy like, oh, this guy's so dead. But I can guarantee in a game like today, he's going to score. It was his first goal in like 11 appearances. First goal at Anfield since like September. So it just goes to show like he's getting goals according to his goal tally, but he's not been like consistent enough at all. But you know, another 5 million for the Saudis to add on this summer. Hopefully, inshallah, he'll be gone and we move on to better things. But yeah, and there was the Salah penalty as well, which was pretty standard. But I'll be honest, from that point forward, we was holding on for dear life. Like I think even the XG shows that we created nothing in the second half. It was all Wolves, and we was holding on for dear life. It was a good finish from Cunha as well. But yeah, and you can see with the way we was playing in the second half, some of these players are tired. Like they're goose. Like Gravenberch, like in the second half, he was giving away the ball a lot. McAllister the same. Szoboszlai the same. Trent, I will give him a blind because I feel like he's come back from injury and he's only played practically about 90 minutes over these last two games. So he was a bit sloppy as well, but it was pretty bad viewing. Like it was not a confident second half at all. We were getting rushed, let me not lie. And I was thinking in the second half, this is one thing I would say about Slot that he in the past that he hasn't done. He does not like Endo, and I feel like Endo is our only DM. So when we're in moments like that, we need to have that kind of like defensive assuredness in our midfield, and he doesn't like to use them. But I feel like with the Jones red card, his hands were kind of forced today. He did bring him on, and Endo was just battling for his life, man. Came on, getting them tactical fouls, getting them nasty tackles in to kind of stop the Wolves getting in behind and getting goals. So yeah, no, it was a tense second half, but I'm really, really happy with the result in the end, and I can't be mad at a result like that at all.
I mean, it's just about to do the cop end accounts PR. It's just about getting points on the board, right?
Literally that, man. Like we're just about getting points on the board. We're 7 points ahead of Arsenal at this point. Game midweek. Yes, there are some concerns that you can have if you watch the game and with like our fitness and the players that we have, of course, but you can't be mad at this point, man. At this point, it's game time. We're going for the league. Just get 3 points on the board and keep it stepping to the next game.
You got Villa midweek.
Yeah, on Wednesday.
Let's think about that one.
After today's performance, I'm a bit worried in terms of our midfield and even just the general fitness of the team. I don't want to see Robertson play, if I'm honest with you, on Wednesday. He is honking at the moment. He is so bad. I want to see one of our midfielders get a rest, but I can't say I want to see Endo away at Aston Villa starting the game. But it would only make sense because we got Man City on the weekend after that game.
Oh, so, Villa then City.
Villa then City in the weekend. So
big week for you guys. Yeah,
big week. But the thing is that I'm a bit happy about is that Aston Villa are not in the best form in terms of in the league. Like they've given away a few points, and even though
they're a good bet to concede a goal. They don't keep clean sheets.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Maybe with our attacking line, we can actually grab a goal. So I'm a bit more confident than I usually would have been like last season or even at the start of this season. So yeah, I want to see 3 points, but it's a weird one. I also want to see rotation, and with the way players are dropping like flies these days, I'm getting concerned, man. Like so many injuries are about. So yeah, it's tough, but you know what I mean. It's what you got to do to be the champions, isn't it? And hopefully we'll be there soon.
13 games. You're feeling good, yeah?
Yeah, man. Why not? You know,
Why do you score up an octave?
No, it's just the way I speak, innit? You know what I mean? No.
How many points are you taking out of this week, brother?
Ooh, Aston Villa, Man City. That's a tough one.
The league's funny because
I'll say 4.
Most of us,
Villa, I think, are actually better against big teams. But what are you going to say, Shims?
yeah, no, I agree. I was just gonna say the league is so funny because like it seemed as though Liverpool were running away with it, and they were and still kind of are. But like 7 points is actually like with Villa and City. So let's say 2 draws, for example, which is not, it's not it's not wild for that to happen, right?
Not outside the realms of possibility.
Yeah, not outside the realms, yeah. And Arsenal like win their 2. Arsenal got Forest and West Ham. So let's just say if Arsenal win those games, the gap's 3 points again. Like, how has that happened? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, it just feels weird because Liverpool at some point, it just seemed like you guys were unassailable. But like, yeah, I feel like if you beat Everton in midweek this week, obviously the gap would have been 9 points, and then that would have looked a lot more unassailable and a lot more solid. But it's just funny how like just like one little slip up, and the thing is that's even a normal slip up that game against Everton at Goodison Park. Like, that's a normal kind of thing that happens in the league. But it's just so how small the margins are. Any little slip up, like any draw, and the lead can just get cut. And it goes back to what Dems was saying, I think, when he was on last time. It was like, oh, it's only Jan, and like, you know, your biggest enemy is kind of yourselves. So I just think, yeah, any more of those results that happened at Goodison Park, which was unlucky to be fair, but any more of those, it could be back on again. But
the thing is with the Everton draw, which I find, especially amongst Liverpool fans.
And by the way, I don't think the Everton draw was the end of the world, by the way.
No, it's not.
I don't think it was at all.
There were certain Liverpool fans that were panicking, like, oh, but at the end of the day, it would have been free. It's a 3-game swing anyway. Like 7 or 9 points was the difference between the 2 results. If it was 6, then that's when I'd be like, whoa, something's going wrong here. But 7 or 9 points, like especially at this stage of the season, and I think the big factor that plays into everyone being confident that Liverpool's going to probably most likely win this time. God, like MIA, Havertz, Saka, and Martinelli all out for practically long stretches of the season. So it would be, even like any fan, if any fan lost their main front 3, it would be very arrogant of you to think, yeah, we're gonna make up this, especially with the form that the opposition is in. So that's where my confidence comes in. And Nottingham Forest, I'll be honest, like, I don't think they're them guys to be challenging.
I think if Forest is the only team chasing you with a fully
why are you saying it kind of sheepish but kind of arrogant? Kind of sheepish but kind of arrogant.
They ain't got the minerals, man. I'm saying, you know, you just know. Know.
If Forest are the only team chasing you with a fully fit,
that's calm. That's not a chase.
You ain't got much.
They may as well be 16th.
Yeah,
that's a light chase.
Then the fun was talking about playing Marino up front. They're calling him like RVP and that. Like when you got your ops doing that, that's when you know, like, all right, this is a dub. This is a dub. I'm sorry.
I think you're right, and obviously we'll get onto Arsenal. I think the state of their attack and how much they struggled against Leicester of all sides means that they're going to come undone against better Premier League teams.
And they have to come to Anfield too, as well. So that's why I'm
like, come to Anfield.
Yeah, you got to come to
Trossard, Sterling, Marino, Wanyeri.
Yeah,
that Wanyeri's good kid. Big boy should come to play.
I saw some things against Leicester where I'm like, if Leicester had a lot more quality, like when they're running plays with Jordan Ayew and Jamie Vardy, that's when you're like, all right, there's no hope here. But against a team that's actually like top and has quality, I saw some things in that game where they can get undone. I don't think they'll lose to West Ham because I think West Ham are just as bad. But the game against Forest is where they might see some problems. And yeah, I'm really hoping that's the game where we can kind of extend our lead.
Where you win the league, yeah?
No, not win the league, but extend it. But I mean, I feel like we'll win the league when we play Arsenal, which is like the 30th game or something like that. I'm not sure.
You're reminding me of Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho predicted when Chelsea win the league like twice, I think.
Well, I can't say I'm as good as Mourinho, but you know what I mean. I tried.
The exact date, the exact fixture, everything. But yeah,
I think Arsenal when play Arsenal will at least have a better idea. Or for me, when we go into the next international break, like things will get a lot clearer in terms of the Premier League because we'll show what we're made of and our competitors will too.
Yeah, agreed. Cool. Let's get on to the Friday night All Eyes on Me, a replay of the FA Cup game a few days earlier, which you'd lost 2-1. Chelsea again against Brighton. How are you feeling going into that, Shems? And on top of that, how are you feeling about the Chelsea at the minute? Proper Chelsea, not proper Chelsea? What's going on?
How am I feeling about Chelsea at the minute is very, I don't know, kind of tired, really. It's hard to describe because I was actually very optimistic in December because I thought the first half of the season was very positive, and then the last
getting cooked.
The last month or so has been.
Hey, you are getting blamed. Oh my
God. Hold on. How has Morayo turned this? And he's running jokes.
No, it's funny because obviously the additional content, obviously, is because I'm in the chat. Obviously, I'm in the chat, and there's a specific discussion we're having, and everyone.
I don't think I've been getting cooked though.
No, not you. Chelsea been getting cooked.
Oh, Chelsea, yeah.
Not you, but there's obviously a specific discussion we're having. And
yeah.
Every time you don't win,
yeah.
The message in that chat.
I mean, I don't have to pay attention to that because, I'm tired of explaining the reason why I don't agree. But Chelsea at the moment it's really, really not good. I think I'm looking at this like project at this point and I'm just like, we're 3 years in now, and where we're at now, it's like it's just been little to minimal progress in terms of like we spent so much money, but you're looking at the squad and there's always still holes like season after season. It doesn't make any sense. Like we spent this much money, but we don't have a top centre back that's a leader. You don't have a solid goalkeeper who can just not make mistakes. You don't have a competent like number 9 who can, at least, be up there tussling to be near the top scorers of the league. Not even the top scorer, just even near it. Do you know what I'm saying? You still have bang average like wide players kind of thing, and it's just like it's just a cycle of I'm just kind of tired. And I think at this point I'm kind of looking at it. I think like after the game I was kind of reflecting and I was thinking to myself like at this point I'm looking at the whole thing, like the whole from top to bottom in terms of like where we're actually going, and it just feels like whenever we make one step forward, it's always 2 steps back. Do you know what I'm saying? It doesn't seem to. It can't get off. It can't. It's not taking off. Like when you're on the runway.
Let's get into it because like going back to summer, people are really happy with the signings you'd made, the additional quality that you brought to the team. Obviously, you've been watching these players for a few months now. What have you learned about some of these guys you brought in? Sancho, Neto. I know you're Noni Trufer as well. Like, what is the actual state of the Chelsea team for you? And is that different from what you thought post-summer? Because I feel like the general public have been a bit down on Chelsea players. You guys spent $1 billion, you're finishing 10th and blah, blah, blah. And you guys have been a bit more like, but these aren't 10th level players. These are players. You've shown that this season. But I think that because you were so close to being in that title race, the way you slipped off, and I think was the last one, the 15th of December, or you've won maybe a game. Yeah, maybe I think you
won 2 games in Jan. We won beat Wolves and West Ham.
I think you went a month and then you won those 2 games. But the wheels have completely come off, so it's completely like ruined everything almost. You're 10 points behind Arsenal now. So let's basically what I'm saying. Let's untangle what we think, what we're seeing, the manager, the players, and then the performance on Friday. If that's all right with you, brother.
Yeah. So like in terms of the players, so obviously Jackson getting injured is a massive blow, and then obviously the GUU is also injured, so we have no recognised striker. That's a blow. But I still feel like I was looking at the team against Brighton, I was like, I think there's enough here to still at least to win the game. I actually thought we would react. And just like in terms of your question, I'm looking at, so like for example, I was at the start of the season, I was quite happy with the squad. I thought we had a little bit too much, but I thought there was lots of quality there. But the likes of Pedro Neto have just really, really underwhelmed. Like really underwhelmed. I think one thing I've learned, especially in that case, is that I just think the levels are different. I think we've got one challenge for us is to actually find out what players have to actually make that jump. Because I think it's one thing to be doing it at certain teams in the league, but the levels at the top end of the table is completely different. And yeah, he's really, really underwhelmed. Maresca, for one reason or another, didn't want to use João Felix, and that's come back to bite him because now we've got injuries now, and he could have actually played a big part and provided a spark where we're so reliant on Cole Palmer now, which wasn't the case before. Before, you had the likes of Enzo chipping in, you had Jackson scoring, you had Madueke, taking on his man and being threatening. Now it's just Palmer. Do you know what I'm saying? And someone like a Felix could have helped with that. So to get rid of him looks like a bad decision. Sancho, what he's producing up doesn't surprise me because I've been watching him for the past few years and I know what he's about. Do you know what I'm saying? But other than him, it looked like a good squad. And now we're at a point where the squad actually looks light, which is crazy. Because obviously we lost Mudryk as well. And with all the compile that with all the injuries, somehow we're at a point where the squad looks light, which is crazy to me. But yeah, in terms of like what the Friday performance was very, very much a nothing performance. There isn't even that much to really analyze or say. I think the one thing I can say is that defensively, it's just a mess. For two of the goals, obviously Mitoma's goal was fantastic, but the other two goals, you got Chalobah's clearance, which was poor, go straight to a batting player, and then we're at 6s or 7s before Minter puts it in, and then Colwill for the final goal was absolutely pathetic. Like I think that was what really that's what tipped me over the edge, because it was like you're meant to be a defender. You are a Premier League defender playing at a top club, and he does this thing regularly where he's very weak in tussles. So he gets shrugged off the ball and he's complaining for a foul. He's done the same thing against West Ham and it cost us a goal. And it's repeated again against Brighton. It was clearly not a foul. And he's on the floor complaining, out of position, and they score. And it's just pathetic. Like it really, it's just a lack of leadership, a lack of physicality. Yeah, I'm at a point where I just don't see anything top. If he didn't have a lovely left foot, I think a lot of us would see him as a rank average centre back, to be honest with you, because there's nothing really that stands out in him. I think he's just okay. Do you know what I'm saying? And to spend as much money as we have and just have okay centre backs, it's not good enough.
Damn in.
So yeah, I think going forward, Carragher made a nice point. Like a lot of the players we have are just neat and tidy. None of them are really none of them are really ruthless and like really look like they're going to threaten the goal, other than Cole Palmer. And I think Cole Palmer, yeah, it's no secret that he's not playing well at the moment, but it's all on him right now. And I really do feel like a player of his quality can only bear this for so long. I think I give it one more season before his head might start turning, because he should be in the Champions League. He should absolutely be in Champions League. If Chelsea don't make the Champions League this season, heads have to roll. Like it's absolute travesty if we don't make Champions League this season. So yeah, the performance was outside the first 10, 15 minutes. The performance was nothing really. We didn't give Brighton anything to worry about at all. And I think Brighton were well worthy of their win, really. So yeah, same. And I thought the same way of the FA Cup as well. There was just nothing to really take from it. We didn't do anything. We don't look good.
Shams, can I quickly ask, like, what do you think it is between the start of the season and now? That's the reason for Chelsea's fall off. Injuries aside, of course, like with Nico Jackson, but even before then, I don't think the players are performing well. What do you think it is? That's the issue. I
think drop off in form from individuals as well as has played a part, as well as Maresca. Maresca's in-game management, it kind of fell off a little bit. So, like for example, at the start of the season, Maresca was so proactive. Games against Newcastle, for example, he moved Cole Palmer to the left because he thought he'd get more joy out of being away from Joey Linton. Spurs game picks off Lavia, who was the best player on the pitch by a mile, to make the team better, and they go on to win the game. So he was very proactive first half of the season. Then recently, I think in the games where we dropped points, he wasn't as proactive. So that definitely hurt us. And then obviously, I think the players as well individually have dropped off. So Jackson dropped off a cliff. Palmer's levels dropped. I think Caicedo's levels dropped. The centre backs. So like Colwill, Tosin, neither of them be good enough for me over this whole period of time. I don't think Tosin.
Will Reeks.
Yeah, like I'm being very nice here because like I don't know why I'm being so nice. Maybe because he's a young player and I'm still trying to give him the benefit of champion. But he stinks. Like his performances stink really badly. Like I said, if he didn't have a wand of a left foot, I don't think anybody would really see anything to speak about in terms of him defensively. He's just okay, but his level has dropped. Do you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna say it's a combination of the individuals' performances dropping off and the manager also his proactiveness fell off as well. So that's where we are, and that's why the results ain't been good. But I'm still very much. I still think Maresca has shown enough to stick with him personally. I know some Chelsea fans want him out, but I think I would stick with him.
Some of them are calling for Poch back.
Sorry?
Some of them are calling for Poch back.
Yeah, they can do that if they want to. I'm not on that. It just shows you how fickle football fans are, really and truthfully, in my opinion. If we're at a point where we're calling for Poch back, when you really did not rate what you were seeing when he was here, but now all of a sudden you rate it because the current manager isn't doing well, just let that seep in terms of your logical thinking. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know what I'm saying?
Are football fans logical though?
No, they're not. They're really not. Like I saw the tweet. I saw the tweet from, I'm not really on Twitter nowadays, but I saw the tweet from Touchline. I know who it was, about Chelsea going backwards. I just thought it's just such a ridiculous.
Who do you think it was? Who do you think it was?
It was, of course, it was Anton. Of course, it was Anton. But like, I'm just like, how have we got to a point where we analyze like this? Because when you look at, for example, you're here. When Ole Gunnar Solskjaer took over from Jose Mourinho, you guys were up there, competing for top 4, competing at the top 2. Even though the results are much better, I don't think I remember you guys. You weren't entirely happy. You didn't feel like you'd progressed massively from where you were under Jose, despite the results being better. We've seen, like for example, Emery coming after Wenger. They finished one place better than they did under Wenger in his last season. But then it all unraveled the following season. It was clear that obviously, despite them finishing one place better, the team still wasn't that much better than what they were in that final season. So it's not always a clear picture to look at results, in my opinion. But that's just what I think. But the other reason why I'm kind of still with Maresca, I feel like he has shown enough in that first half of the season. Because for me, I'm all for sacking managers if they're not good enough and if they don't show anything. I think Maresca has shown enough to ride with him. However, he has absolutely not helped himself with the way he's speaking, because I think saying things like we're a decade away from reaching I think he said, I didn't actually see the where he said it, but I heard it on commentary. We're a decade away from, I think, winning the Champions League or something like that, or winning the league again. That's a ridiculous thing to say, because we've seen a Chelsea team under Lampard who were like 9th, in the space of 4 months, become Champions League winners, right? We've seen Nottingham Forest are right there right now. They're in 3rd place. Like, it doesn't take 5 to 10 years to simply compete at the top of the table. It doesn't. It really doesn't, especially when you've got the resources that Chelsea have. So to say something like that, I think it's crazy.
But do you take those kind of comments with like a pinch of salt and maybe a bit of inspiration? Like, I wouldn't literally hold him to that, right? Personally. I know what you mean. There's also a level of like talking the talk that you expect from your manager that just makes you feel a lot more reassured and like it's not going well. But like we have Amarim, who had that, was talking the good talk. It's going to be hard work. We'll wash, but I'm confident in myself. And he's not saying anything different now. He's speaking just as directly. But I can't hear him no more.
Do you know what it is?
I'm Helen Keller. I can't see him. I can't hear him, brother.
It's not so much about talking the talk, because I'm more action. Like, I want to see what you're doing on the pitch here. But it's more about, don't lower the standard. Don't lower the standard by your performance on the pitch, and don't lower the standard by what you say. And I think, like, you can think that, but it doesn't mean you have to say it. Do you know what I'm saying? And I feel like, for me, the reason why I don't hold it totally against him is because I think it's more indicative of the overall standard of the club, from top to bottom. So he's only saying that because that's what he's been told, right? He doesn't have to say it, which is where I think he's gone wrong. But at the end of the day, if he's saying that Chelsea don't have to finish, Chelsea's target this season Chelsea's target was to finish top 4 within 2 seasons, and he feels like they're 5 to 10 years away. It's a long-term project. That's all being fed to him from above. Do you know what I'm saying? The reason why coaches never said that under Roman Abramovich is because he set the standard to be so high. The guys that worked under Abramovich, including Abramovich himself, the standard was very, very high. So there's no way that any manager under him would have had that thought process. So for me, the comments speak more of the overall standard of what's going on above, in my opinion. So that's why I take it with a pinch of salt, because he's saying he's saying what his bosses have set for him, but at the same time, you don't actually have to say that in public. So that's where I think he went wrong. But I think the overall standard of Chelsea is low. Like, I feel like it feels like we're turning into what Arsenal were when, like the early 2010s, where they were kind of just in limbo, underwhelming in the league and at risk of losing their best players because season after season they're just underwhelming. Like, why wouldn't Cole Palmer's head turn next season if he has another underwhelming season? Why wouldn't City just go, Kevin De Bruyne is retiring soon, we might have you back, what I'm saying, new manager, whatever. Why wouldn't his head turn? Do you know what I'm saying? Because that's a player that should be playing in the Champions League. So yeah, I think the overall standard from top to bottom, and I think it summed up today. Like, I was thinking about that after the Brighton game, and I think it summed up when I saw Garnacho miss that chance, because we were chasing him the whole of January. So it's like,
bro, I needed that more than you believe, brother. I needed that more than you will ever, bro. 50-60 from Chelsea, that changes our trajectory. He's a bang average player, bang average. And yeah, it shows. How did you feel about getting rid of João Felix?
I thought it was ridiculous, in my opinion. And the thing is, I'm not even a massive fan of Felix. I feel like he's mad talented, but I still feel like he has a lot to prove. However, it was so obvious that he could add to this team. It was so obvious. The burden on Cole Palmer was way too much. Yeah. And I think obviously because Jackson stopped scoring, the wingers aren't performing at a high level. You've got a number 10 there with some spark, some skill, and someone who's actually very good in front of goal in terms of like when he gets a chance. Like his goal against his first goal for AC Milan shows that, like, he's quite composed in front of goal. That's someone there that could have helped the team get results, and you just didn't use him. I was very disappointed with that one, personally, very disappointed. And now we've got even more injuries. You're bringing Sancho off the bench to do what? Where's he actually going to bring? Felix is someone that could have stepped in this moment in time and done really well, in my opinion. So, and I think he wasn't given a fair crack, because even the games that he did play in, like, he was working mad hard. You know what I'm saying? Like, it was nothing to do with application.
When a manager doesn't fancy a player, it really doesn't matter what the player does. Yeah. The manager just doesn't fancy him. Like, he just doesn't see it. So I think that's where Felix was, like, it doesn't matter what he did. There's nothing he could do to change Maresca's mind. So who's going to be starting up top for you, like Nkunku? Unfortunately, yeah. Friend, you're not feeling Kunks, no?
No. I like him as a player, but he just isn't a striker.
Okay,
yeah, so I think Maresca's going to try and play about with it. So you saw in the Brighton game, there were moments, I think Palmer started in that false 9 position, and Nkunku was behind him. And then second half, he reverted back to Nkunku up top. So I think he's going to try a couple of things. I think, I don't even know what is the best solution at this point. If it's not Nkunku or Palmer, I think the only other person that can maybe do something down the middle might be Neto, just because of his pace and whatnot. But there are teams that are doing well in domestically and in Europe without a recognized number 9. So like Liverpool, for example, Diaz is playing that role. I know Liverpool fans aren't happy with Diaz, but they still managed to, as a team, look threatening and score goals. I think PSG as well, they're playing Doué, Barcola, and Dembele as a front three. And I don't know where they are in the league, but I'm pretty sure they're making it back. I watched them in the Champions League against Manchester City, look threatening. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not a situation where you can't do anything. And also, when you look at the teams around us, Arsenal have got massive injuries. City have had injuries. Do you know what I'm saying? You guys have got massive injuries, but obviously you guys aren't near the top of the league. But there are teams around us with massive injuries, is my point. And I don't feel like the injuries can just be an excuse for us to just like fade away, because we're still there. I think we're only 4 points off Forest in third. So was the top four in terms of the top four. We're still right there. There's no excuse to just fall away and not compete for that position just because of injuries. I can't accept that. Arsenal have lost 3 forwards.
Agreed. So then, question for you is: top 4 the minimum? Like, if you finish 6th, what does that mean to you?
Failure.
Is the manager have to go?
Nah. Do you know what it is? In any other season, I would probably say yes. But I'm at a point where I just feel like sacking the manager, like continuously sacking managers. I don't know how much. I don't know what it's doing for us next point. Because under Roman,
Roman, that's what they'll tell you.
Under Roman, I thought, but that's the thing. Under Roman, I feel like it was different because the standard was high, and whoever comes in was expected to win from the off. But I don't feel like the replacement under this new board will be expected to win from the off. So it's kind of like you're just starting again. Do you know what I'm saying? Like you're just trying to give them time. And the pressure, it doesn't feel like the pressure is as intense. So I know the next manager has to hit the ground running under Roman, whereas under these guys, I don't feel like the new manager is under that sort of pressure. Do you know what I'm saying? So I don't know if he's not under that pressure from the beginning. Maybe we should just try and ride it out and actually try and let Maresca build, because it's not like Maresca. I think Maresca, like I said, Maresca showed a lot of good things in the first half of the season. So I've seen enough to say that there is a potential there for him to be a good Premier League manager. So I would personally stick with him. I think anything below 6 would probably, he'd probably have to go, to be honest. Anything below 6, you probably have to go. But I think 5th and 6th is failure. 4th is a good season. Yeah. Anything below 6, you probably have to go.
Fair enough. That sounds reasonable. Let's quickly take a look at Arsenal. They had the early kickoff on Saturday away at Leicester. Struggling Leicester. Ruud van Nistelrooy's Leicester. Love seeing Kieran Beggett at the start of the game, or before the start of the game. Should I say, sorry, big bro. No. I don't want no problems. I respect that, Kieran. You're a wise man. But yeah, Semms, Julian, did you guys catch the Arsenal game?
Yeah, I did. I was watching it.
What you obviously hating. What did you think of their performance?
You can definitely tell that their front three is injured. That was the biggest, those are the biggest alarm bells when watching the game. But I wasn't too impressed with this Arsenal performance. I think the midfield was quite bad on the day, to be honest. I think Odegaard didn't play well. Partey didn't play well as well. Raheem Sterling was probably the biggest criminal of the day. He was really, really bad. He looked very heavy. Like some of the chances that he was trying to create, he looked very awkward for a footballer. And for someone that's been playing football since 17, it just looks mad. But you can definitely tell, especially in this Arsenal side, that the shining grace of the team, Nwaneri, youngest boss man in charge, he was balling out. He was really looking like he was bringing the team forward. Even for the first goal with Marino, he was the one that got the cross in, and he's a baller, man. Like I don't know what is at Hayland, but they've got real youngest boss men in charge over there. Like they've got real talents that are coming through in the team.
Buenos Road, follow him.
Yeah, you know what I mean. Them and him and Miles Skelly, 2 of them are in front of the big men, fam. You know what I mean. So that was, but the biggest takeaway for me was, again, they are severely lacking in attacking quality due to the injuries, and they probably would have got punished if there was a better side, because that the Corver Reed, Jamie Vardy, Jordan Ayew front three is a mazine. Like it's wild. Like it wasn't good watching. Like even though there was some counterattacks that could have happened, it just didn't like effectively come off. So yeah, that was all my takeaways from the game.
Yeah, similar. I watched it. Nwaneri was a different make. Obviously, Marino came off the bench and grabbed 2 goals. Sterling, man, releasing swans. Fucking
yeah. I saw a TikTok. Someone was trying to put him in the bracket of Rooney, whereby because they played so much since 17, they're just finished. And I don't know what you guys think about that, but
I agree, man. I agree.
I hear that, but I think you can look at him and just see such a lack of confidence as well in himself. So I don't know. I wouldn't say I don't think his body's completely finished, because even last season, which wasn't that long ago, there was games, particularly beginning of the season, where he had the burst. I could see the pace, still, and he could still beat a man. So I don't even think his body's completely. I don't think his body's failing him at all. Personally, obviously, it's not where it was, but I don't think it's completely physical. He just looks very, very devoid of confidence in himself, and obviously that's seeping out onto the pitch. And with every game where you don't perform well, it just gets worse, and you don't. He doesn't look like he believes in himself.
Yeah,
so I think it's a deeper issue at play here. I don't know. It's a difficult one because do you continue to play them through it, or do you take them out? But he's hardly played, so taking them out doesn't even do anything for him. So.
Yeah, I have, and you are right. I have seen with Sterling ever since he went to Chelsea. The motivation that he once had is gone, and it probably stems back to him leaving City, because you would think like even him leaving Liverpool to go to City, that was like a big step for him, and it was something that he felt like it was a move that he needed to make, and he did make. And his time at City, I genuinely think that he must feel like he's underrated amongst the City legends, and mentally, he might feel like, raw, like you're selling me, even though I'm one of the most successful players at the club in the club's history. And going to Chelsea and seeing how things panned out there, with it just being a general shit show and him not performing well, and then him being sent on loan by this team as well to Arsenal, where he's not particularly getting any starts. And I don't think Arteta's really trusting him like that. Yeah, you are right. The motivation will dip severely.
It's also going to damage your confidence severely. Because I'm not one that believes that he was unmotivated at Chelsea. I just think, like you said, it was just a terrible situation in terms of the club. It was so messy. In that first season in particular. Second season, I don't really know what happened.
I think he looked all right, and that's fine, but he has to be cooked now because why would he look so bad at Arsenal? Yeah,
it's true. There's not really an excuse. They're a good team.
That left hand side is there for the taking. Like and he still looked poor. Obviously, the speed is not what it was, but he just doesn't look sharp. Remember, he was like intelligent, intricate, good movement. He looks poor, man.
It's good,
yeah. It's a sad fall from grace for a player who was a top player in this league. Who I felt, he was a top player, probably didn't get the respect. He was never everyone's cup of tea. It was almost like he's putting up numbers, so I have to respect him, but I don't really respect him. That was kind of where Sterling's thing was. So for him to fall off like this before, is he 30 yet?
Yeah, I think he's 30 now. Yeah.
Okay, so just about turned 30. Not good enough, to be honest with you. But otherwise, I struggle to see them, because I was saying when I was asking the pod of Ant, which I think was last week, is that it's not only to close the gap, but they have to outperform you. So they have to accumulate 8 points more than you across the remainder of the season to finish above you. And I just don't see it. I can see them reducing the gap potentially certain weeks, but then there'll be other weeks where they then don't pick up points.
Exactly.
And then I just think it's gonna, like, the gap just got too big.
I know in an arrogant way, we are like the barometer for the league, with us being first. So if we're in form, I don't think Arsenal should be looking at us in form being like, we need to match them with the circumstances at hand. Like, it'll be a very big ask for an Arsenal fan to be like, with this front three that we currently have available to us, we should be able to keep up with Liverpool. And they'll be doing a disservice to the rest of the league as well, because Leicester, even from what I saw yesterday, Leicester are one of the worst sides in the league. And it did only feel like from the 75th minute onwards that Arsenal were looking like they were going to win. So
they had one player on the pitch that looks like he could score.
Yeah.
He looks special, by the way. He looks very special, but it wasn't good enough. Odegaard again, very crap.
Yeah, he's had a poor season, man. This is a poor season, crap. Man.
Like
down in the annals.
Yeah, he played a few clever, attempted to play a few clever passes. So you can see the ingenuity is still there in terms of him trying to make things happen. But it's just general level just isn't there. Do you know what I'm saying? It was one kid that dragged them to victory, really. So but for the most part, I did feel like they struggled really against a poor Leicester side. So it's kind of indicative of where the title race is at. And if you're Liverpool, you're laughing really. But I'd be interested to know how they get Saka and Ranieri in the team, because the way Ranieri performed yesterday, you can't really afford to not play him. Like, if you lose him, that's a massive L. Because the talent, as talented as he looks, losing him, Losing that kind of talent would be a serious L. So I feel like he actually has to stay in the team if he's playing the way he's playing yesterday. So it'll be quite interesting to see how they get him, Saka, and Odegaard in the same team. But yeah, there's not really much more positives, I'd say.
I would have said Saka left back, but Skelly's looking good, man. MLS is looking cold still. Can't lie.
I hear you. That's another top left back they brought out the academy. I can't lie to you. But jokes aside, I think that Nwaneri actually is only playing on the right hand side for the first time in his career.
Yeah, so he's basically in the middle, isn't it?
Yeah. So it'll be interesting. Like even Saka, there was a time he played left centre midfield for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Before he kind of came out. And again, like Saka's looked good wherever he's played for Arsenal. Left back, right wing, left centre mid, left wing. And who knows what he's gonna look like in terms of burst post his hamstring injury, right? And he's never been the quickest wide man. Not that 1 year is too quick either, but yeah, it's not a bad problem to have. That's where again, I think Arteta's kind of focused on athletes and hard men in his transfer signings, and it feels like Haaland is bringing the quality. So
the thing is, though, with that, I don't see, and I don't think there is an example of a player who's performed so well in a position get moved out. Just moved to another position to accommodate.
He won't be the one to be moved.
So
I think he could do it, but I just don't think he'll be the one to be moved.
Yeah, he won't be. So then you've got. So if Nwaneri does play in the middle, the other thing is I don't think Arteta is that adventurous anymore.
Wait,
I can't see him.
You know who we're looking at, brother? Say the name.
Sorry.
Odegaard.
Oh, it's his captain though. You know these politics.
I will fuck, bro.
Okay. Let's keep it a buck here. Let's keep it a buck.
Yeah.
He should drop Odegaard and keep Ranieri in the team. That's what he should do. If we're going on merit, blah blah blah. He's not even that good of a leader. Gabriel's probably a better leader than him. Declan Rice probably a better leader than him. But we just know politics. It ain't gonna happen. So
we'll see, bro. Like we'll see. We will literally see.
I'll be shocked.
We'll see. So what do you think ends up happening then?
I just think he goes back to the bench.
I mean, he's 17, so there's no rush, but
yeah,
will have to be made.
Yeah. I think he'll go back to the bench, and it just might not end well. Unless he grows the balls to drop Odegaard. And we're forgetting Odegaard.
He's 17.
Also, we're forgetting Odegaard could actually come back to the levels he was last season. So if he does that, what then?
I personally think.
What were the levels? Remind me.
He scored 15 goals in the Premier League season, didn't he? As a midfielder.
Different role. That's pre-Decky Rice. That was when Partey was pulling the strings.
I hear you. Last season, I thought it was.
He was good.
Last season, he was good. It wasn't sensational. It was good.
I'm saying not saying it wasn't good. I'm just the specific 15 goal call out. How many did he get last season? Maybe 5? Oh, 8.
Yeah,
so he did all right. He did all right last season. Like I said, it's not a bad problem.
Okay.
I'm intrigued.
In the hub of the team.
Cool, which is fair. I'm intrigued to see what they do in summer in terms of attackers, because I think they need a striker, they need a left-sided attacker, they need both of those, right? Ipswich are going down. I've already seen Liam Delap link with you guys, obviously. And yeah, they need something on the left-hand side. I think Martinelli is a squaddy for the level that they're at, you know, and then they potentially get rid of one of Trossard and Gabby Jesus. So yeah, we'll see. I think they'll make an honest go of it, and with that back line that they have, they won't concede many. But I think yesterday is the start of a theme that we're going to see with them, where it's going to be, because they struggled to break teams down even when they had their guys. So I think it's not going to
games like Fulham away, which are tough.
Exactly.
For them. Yeah,
exactly. Cool. So quick chat about Champions League. Second knockout round. We had some good ties in the first knockout round, mainly Real Madrid versus Man City. And we can talk on that. Before we get to that, how are you guys enjoying the new format? Have you noticed the new format? If you have, do you prefer it to what it was like before, or bring back group stages?
Well, as the only resident Champions League attender in this podcast at the moment, I think I'm well versed to say that. Yeah, I do like this. Honestly, I do. I think people were very, very harsh on it going into it because they love the traditional four team groups. But I like the fact that we've been able to see a lot more fixtures that we probably wouldn't see this early in the competition. like the likes of Man City, PSG. Like I like that I'm seeing that. There was Real Madrid. There was Real Madrid, Man City that we see now. I'm liking that. I'm seeing that. Liverpool, even some Liverpool game, Liverpool, Milan, Liverpool, Real Madrid. I don't think we see these kind of fixtures in the traditional top four. The 4-group format, and it's exciting. Like I don't really. We play 8 games, like whether they're home or away. Like I don't think that makes a big difference in terms of the way we're playing. So I'm personally okay with it. Like I'm all right. Oh, sorry, 6 games, but 8 games if you're one of them, man, that didn't qualify. So I'm personally okay with it. The only thing I would say is in terms of player welfare, it can be a problem. In terms of the amount of games that they have to play, the amount of games that added on, the fixture congestion in the time, which is my only fear. But in terms of the actual entertainment side of it, I'm really happy with it so far, man.
Correction, you play 8 games regardless, but 10 games.
Ah, sorry, that was it. Yeah,
he's the only one who's regularly in the chat.
The only one that's in
what's going on? Doesn't know what's going on, brother.
8 games. Sorry.
That was good though, Julian. I like that. I like the little toss. All right, cool. So Real Madrid were able to pull off a late winner, 3-2 against Manchester City at the Etihad. Now they're coming back to the Bernabeu. Is there any world in which you envision Real Madrid not going through?
No,
I hope so. I am tired of these brothers. I hate Man City. I don't hate Man City, but I don't like Man City. Yeah, and I'm not all for wishing for English teams to do well, but I really don't want to see Real Madrid like about anymore. So yeah, I really do hope that they get knocked out, but I doubt it, bro.
Yeah, I can't see City. I think City had to win the home game by a minimal two goal margin just to overcome the heritage of Real Madrid playing in the Bernabeu in an important Champions League game. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I can't see them. I can't see them overturning that, to be honest with you. I think defensively they still got issues there as well. Mbappe's come back into form. He looks quite good recently. I watched a few of his goals in the league as well. He looks sharp. Bellingham look quite good as well. Madrid look quite good. They look good. So yeah, I can't see City overcoming that, if I'm honest.
Agreed. He battered Newcastle though, which was surprising. Marmouche, they'll give it a good go. It's the Spanish team, so there'll be space and there'll be opportunities for them to score. I'm expecting another good game, to be honest with you.
Yeah. It should be.
They're both going to come out and play. You know, Carlo's not going to necessarily play defensively, and you know, Pep's going to come out and play. So yeah, we'll see that. And I think you've also got Celtic versus Bayern Munich. They're back at Bayern, so I'm not expecting any surprises. Bayern Munich went over there and they won 2-1, so I'm expecting them to go through quite comfortably. Benfica, they won away at Monaco 1-0 actually. I'm not going to pretend I even know what the hell's going on in that tie. Dortmund, Lisbon sacrificed their season, man. They sacrificed their season with getting rid of Amorim. So Dortmund beat them 3-0 away. So Dortmund to go through. And then PSG, Ousmane Dembele.
Hey, crazy. I can't lie. I thought I found stocks in like the back of my cupboard that I didn't know that
in all the years I've known you, Julian. In all the years, I have never, ever heard about the unlitigated goal for you to say, I found stocks where?
In the back of the cupboard. You know where you, like the old shorts bar, the one that's crumpled up, fam, the one that smells moldy. I was like, raw, it's still there. I didn't even know it was there personally because it's been so long.
That's disgusting.
Nah. You know what it is? Dembele is one of them guys where you support them from afar, and because they hurt you from afar, you don't really like make it publicly known. You're like, all right, you're my guy, but I can't really let the streets know that I fuck with you like that. You know what I mean? But as of recently, he's been turning up, man. I can't lie. I thought he was cooked as well when he went to PSG, but last couple games, I'll say last 5-6 games, he's been top. He's been top, man. And yeah, I hope he does well. But not against us, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, I think apparently he scored 16, 17 goals since January. So he's obviously on track to have the most prolific season of his career. They've brought Carvalho in. They've got a lot of quality, a lot of depth. Now they're able to like fully rotate and still have guys like Doué starting and Carlo Ramos, waste of money. People said it at the time, but good enough to be a squaddy. So they're a threat. They're a threat to win it all, I think.
Yeah, they look good again. I think what's hilarious though is like for example, against the City game, I don't know if anyone picked up on this, but the commentary, they take every opportunity to make a jab at Mbappe, Neymar, and Messi, because they're like, oh, this is what happens when you get rid of superstars who don't want to work, don't want to press. And to an extent, they're right. But it's just like, how many times do you want to take it? Because you know how the media sees Neymar, for example.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's just heavily agenda based. It's like, relax, it's okay, we get it.
And you know what's crazy? It's like these men were actually performing sick for PSG. It's not like these men were the reason that they were losing. Like Mbappe was still bagging, Neymar was still bagging, obviously when he wasn't injured.
Before the World Cup, him and Messi were hooping.
Yeah, it was just a poor way to set up a team from a balance perspective. When they had the ball, great, but their ability to protect it just wasn't really. It just wasn't there, right? I mean, with this team, they even had Yao Neves playing right back a few times. So they, what's his name? Enrique's got them all buying in, and we'll see. It should be a couple of good games, and then we get to the knockout round proper. So we'll see how your boys do, Julian. You look, your legs look tired. They look heavy.
You sound buoyant. So we'll be watching, brother.
I'm really relying on the fact that the Premier League hopefully can get wrapped up early, than we would want, and then we can,
That doesn't happen though.
I know. That's what I'm hoping.
Just so we're clear, you're hoping something that rarely happens.
Yeah.
That you're able to rest players in the Premier League for the Champions League.
Not rest players, but not go as hard. You know what I
mean? That is what you was implying.
We can't go as hard. You know what I mean? If we're backing a young Brighton at home, I have to be like, yo, come on, man, Grav, end us to play this one. Got Real Madrid.
You man have a chance to go level on league titles with to surpass Manchester United. You ain't resting up nothing, bro.
Listen, man, let's just hope by the time we get to game week 29, the path is clearer. We're able to concentrate, multitask on other things. But until then, game by game.
Yeah, agreed. No, it's match us, not go past us, brother.
It is match. I thought it was match. I'll say, bro. Respect, bro.
Guys, you got on your faux pas. We're checking our facts today, yeah? So let's go on to the awards section. Let's start as a get Big Sam in as defensive coach if he ain't managing. So this is the manager this week, or managers, because all of you seem to always come with multiple names. Who you want to shout out for either positive or negative performance this week? I'll start with you, Shems.
Shout out to it has to be Amarim. Yeah, he has. Yeah, this is we are 7 up, brother. This is abysmal. This is absolutely abysmal.
Crazy work.
There's no light at the end of the tunnel right now. So he's cooked, man. You have to get Big Sam for United, man.
I hear it. For me, it's got to be Moisey. Like, he's coming. They're winning games. They're back to 13th in the table. Went to Selhurst Park and they won on Saturday in the late slot. All eyes on me. Just knows the league. It might not be pretty, but he just knows the league.
Moisey at Everton feels right. Pause.
Yeah, they're moving to this new stadium now. We'll see what happens. But suddenly, Beto scoring in Dye looks good. You got guys like Eagle. You got guys like who's the guy they got from Leeds, man? The wide guy, left footer.
Jack Harrison.
Harrison. Yep. They got a little bit of quality in there. They got guys fighting for the badge. They'll be all right, man. They'll be all right.
Yeah. I'm sick and tired of guys thinking they're him though. I saw Beto scored against Liverpool. Why are you doing the LeBron celebration? It's not for you, bro. You can think they're him too much. It's actually annoying. Please, I saw Onana as well. Onana was doing "I'm him" last. Shut up, man. You're not. You guys are not him. Stop. It's annoying. But yeah, that's finished though.
And Julian, get Big Sam as defensive coach if you ain't managing.
Yeah, I'm with you, Morayo, man. The amount of times I thought this would be the season that Everton finally go down to the Championship, and Moisey just comes through, puts the bit meat and drink football. That's what it is, mate. Just meat and drink football. He knows the league, and he got Everton gassed up. Beto is doing interviews, walking around like he's parked, talking about, I found my love for playing football again. I'm like, my brother, you came 6 months ago. How can your love for football go in 6 months and then you found it again in just because Moyes came? So Yeah,
okay,
man.
another fact check. He was here last week. This is a this is a shocking display for football podcasters right now from the two of you, back to back. He came in the 23-24 season, to be abundantly clear.
Wait, how many games did he play? I don't remember.
He's played like a 30, 35, 40 games and scored like 5 goals or so. So yeah, I think that's what he meant when he said his joy came back. It wasn't pretty. It was. He's a. I don't know if you remember who was that tall black kid that Arsene Wenger signed back in the day, striker, and we said he had chaos factor. That's what he had. Like he's not.
Sonogo.
Yes, Sonogo. That chaos factor where like no quality with the ball at feet, but when he's on the pitch, defenders are unsettled. So that's what he had last season, and he would like do a little bits here and there, but just couldn't hit the back of the net. And I think this season, how many goals has he got this season? Yeah, he's got 5 in 17, 7 in 21 all competitions, and a lot of those are goals off the bench. So, you know, if the minute per goals guy, i.e. Chessiawa, well, here they'd be like, yeah, he's probably doing really well. So fair play to him. He's just got them cooking, man.
And the new stadium shit, by the way.
Yeah, I saw. Why is it shit? Like, what was Goodison Park lovely or something?
Oh, it's just like
what makes the new one shit?
It just looks like a generic FIFA like stadium. Like it looks.
What
like
were you expecting though?
I was expecting a bit of art. You know what I mean? Like at least with Tottenham's new thing, you can see like it's Tottenham shit. But you know what I mean? Like it's you can see that it's Tottenham.
Tottenham Stadium's more known for the concerts now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful stadium. But Everton's thing, like, it just looks like some. I don't even know if they have any banners or anything. It just looks shit. Like it looks dead. It looks white.
I've never met so many Liverpool fans, not from Liverpool, that hate Everton like Copper Fracas.
Fuck Everton, man. You know what I mean? You saw what they done.
It looks all right. I'm looking at it. It's on the water. I don't know. It looks good, Julian, man. From the outside, it looks all right. I can't lie.
It looks like a Reebok Amex. It looks like a Reebok Amex stadium.
I'll tell you what the Amex looks like. I can't lie to you, King. Let me tell you what that looks like from the outside. Let me just take a quick look. No, it doesn't. It doesn't at all.
Nah.
But it's what it is. We'll see. It's much bigger. They have about 30,000 fans apparently who are on the waiting list for season tickets. So the price of the bag is about to go up. Revenue's going to come in. Moisey, good times are back to Liverpool.
They don't need the Arteta money no more.
They still need that. It's about 8 million. They spent like 250 million since. But where is the Arteta money? We still don't know. All right, cool. Next one is it's not double denim. So what moment had you rattled this week? I'll start with you, Julian.
You know what it is, man. Like that Tarkowski finish had my head on Mars, fam. Let me not even lie. And the way the fans like ran on the pitch, sorry, and were celebrating. I can't lie. My head was on the moon still. Let me not lie.
Shems, what moment had you rattled? It's not double denim.
Seeing Jadon Sancho strip down to come onto the pitch and then proceeding to chase his first 3 touches of the ball. That had me rattled.
For me, whole Rasmus Højlund's performance today, like just get him in the bin. It wasn't that bad, was it? It was, but that Garnacho miss, that rattled me. That Garnacho miss right there, yeah, head was
that was so criminal. Like
head was in the sky.
He had so much time. Like he chose that the worst option, the like most least possible option happened.
I just don't know how you get it that high from that close that quick. Like that's my issue. Like how do you get your back so far back that your foot gets so far under it that it's insane finish. So that moment rattled me. Next one is the no agenda of the week. Shems, what's your agenda this week?
There could only be one contester for me, bro. Only one, the one and only Levi Cole for the 3rd podcast in a row. This guy he's making me want to turn this into a full-blown agenda. Like, have you ever seen that before? Like, this is crazy. At first, it started off as a bit of banter, but now I think I might be serious. Because that brother,
he's straight up stinkers every week, bro.
stinks. I think the worst part about it is the fact that he'll give you a bit of passion, like to try and mask his performance, and it really drives me up the wall. Like he spends 50% of his time like gripsing players, complaining to the referee, pretending to be fouled on the floor. It's not on. It's not on. Like you are seriously, yeah. It's Levi Cole. I don't even know what much to say. Like, yeah.
How about you, Julian? What's your agenda for this week?
Now, this is more of a personal one, and it's going to sound wild, but Mikel Merino, I'm watching you. And the reason I'm watching you is because my boy, like, I remember we've been tussling all season. He's an Arsenal fan, tussling all season. And I told him about Merino, and I'm like, he's not good. Like, he's not been good. And he's like, no, but he's versatile. He's versatile. So then, magically, against Leicester, he scored 2 goals. And then my boy was like, oh, yeah, you see? He's versatile. He's versatile. Like, this is what I was talking about a couple months ago. And I was like, bro, you wasn't saying this 2 months ago. This wasn't the versatility you were speaking of. So now, I don't even care about Mikel Merino like that. Like, for me, he's mid. But I'll be watching him closely now and seeing how much this versatility plays off. And again, I just want to put it out there. There's a very personal agenda. Like, there's no credence to it, just to see my boy crumble. So yeah, that's it.
Fair. My agenda, Enios, and as a offshoot of Enios, Ruben Amorim. So the goodwill's gone now. The goodwill's gone. I need to see between now and the end of the season, injuries aside, something that's going to tell me that we give this guy 150 million, 200 million worth of investment, 3-4 players in the team. That's going to lead us to a top 6. Top 6 has to be the minimum expectation at Manchester United. I don't even have it in me to say top 4. I don't even have it in me to say top 4. So I'm having to say top 6. Imagine my life. So Enios, for the fact they're going to get rid of, if they're able to find another 100, 150 jobs to get rid of, I'll be impressed. Because what were people doing before Enios? What were people doing before Enios got there? But Enios, Ruben Amorim, I am on to you guys. Next one is the underrated. I know I have talent awards. Shems, who are you going with this week?
Underrated. Oh, who am I going? I think I'm gonna say. No, I think I'm gonna say Beto. You know, I think it looks alright.
Yeah,
I think it looks alright.
Check him out, Julian. Didn't know who he was a week ago.
Fucking hell, man! Jesus Christ.
Who's your underrated player of the week?
I'm just gonna go with Mamouche. The only reason the only reason I'm going for this is because
let's be clear before you take Mamouche. It's the same awards every week. Every single week, it is the same awards. Yeah. Don't show up without a name in mind. You didn't have a name, and then you the first player you can think of. How can a guy score a hat trick, and then you want to tell us he's underrated?
Let me explain. Let me explain.
Oh my days.
Let me explain. Yeah. This weekend, yeah. Let me not lie. There's not been a lot of underrated performances. I was trying to generally look for him. You underrated. I can't think of any. Now, Shems had to go with Beto. That's how.
Yeah, it's for both of you.
I'm not choosing Beto.
No. Wait, hold on. Beto is way more valid.
Yeah, it is. If we hadn't just done that Beto deep dive, I would have. You had Beto before that, yeah?
No, the other week against who was it? He scored in that game. He scored in the first minute. He's been on form for a few weeks now, so it's way more valid than Mamouche. I'm sorry, Mamouche scored against
level.
Huh?
It's not the same level. I'm watching you, and it's not just you two. It's everybody. It's everybody.
Who else? Who else though? Who else can we honestly choose?
You can't tell me to tell you who to be. I expect you to be locked in. That's what the listeners expect from you. You're locked in. You're saying a player, oh my gosh, who's that? Let me go pre. That's what they expect when we say underrated. Or you've got a player that you've been a fan of and you feel like generally isn't rated and you're shoving that stock in our faces. That's the two things.
None of my guys have done well this week. There's nothing I can do.
Brother, I'm just saying.
This is the state of the economy right now. You know what I mean?
It's also underrated player of the week as well. Like the week does kind of come into it. But it's okay. I hear you, Morayo. I hear you.
God. So, would you say Marmouche after a hat trick, Julian? Yeah.
Bagsman.
You said you're going to explain why. I'm waiting.
Oh, you want me to explain why? Yeah, the reason I chose Marmouche is because I did feel like people were having a few things to say about the signing of him after like a few performances. So that's why I'm like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, let's just, and he's turned up. And also on top of that, again, not a lot of underrated players this week. I'll be honest, like Nwaneri, if I'm really gonna
Nwaneri's not underrated, let's be real.
Yeah, exactly. So like what am I gonna say? Like
I think Minter for Brighton is another good shot, actually.
I know what, I've got a good one. Kevin Shade from or Shard, whatever his name is, from Brentford. Bagsman. Gets a lot of goals and assists. There we go. Got in my fantasy team as well.
I'll begrudgingly allow it. Begrudgingly.
It's a poor week.
Listen, we are not restricted to just the Premier League. Yeah, we watch football internationally. We watch midweek European football. We watch the Premier League. We also watch other leagues. So don't really give me that it was a hard week to find a player in all of world football who's underrated. That's insane. That's insane.
So do you want us to call Mbappe underrated tomorrow?
No. My underrated player this week, Nico Paz from Como. So they signed.
Oh my days! What? Wait, hold on. Why are you watching Como? Can you tell us?
It says Fabregas. That's why. It says Fabregas.
Why do you have to Fabregas stock?
No, because I know he loves a beautiful game, so I can be sure that he's gonna try and make his team play all right. So I only caught them today because they were playing at a time when it was just quick to watch them. They were on from 11:30 today. Nothing else was on. Left footer, they bagged him from Real Madrid. Hooper, he scored today. They even grabbed another kid from, was it Betis? Asane Diao. He scored as well. Left foot, black kid, athletic, doing his thing. So there are underrated players out there. And
okay, wait. So the player you nominated for underrated player this week, how many times?
2.
So is that enough for you to have underrated?
Yeah.
All right, bro.
And I've watched him twice.
I've watched Beto about 16 times. That's why he doesn't pass for me.
No, I just mean Beto's right in their face. When the people are listening, all right, the listeners can tell us tomorrow. If I'm listening and we've got Shems and Julian on, I'm expecting you not to tell me, okay, I wasn't even thinking about bro. Beto, right there. After the deep dive as well, maybe that's who you came with already. If that's the case, bad luck. Julian, though, offer Hattie was coming on the pod and telling us that Marmouche is underrated.
Now, that is hilarious.
He just went for £60 million. Are you absolutely insane? So yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, this is a good little one. And I'm sure like the hipsters would have watched him and they know about him from Real Madrid and all that. But for me, that was a nice little gem. And I'll keep an eye on him going forward, man. Cool. Let's go on to some listeners' questions. First listener's question is from Ranch Dingus. Shout him out on Pit Stop as well. If he's on, does Disu regret his son for a son mantra as Ahmad is cooked for the season? He's not on, but
yeah, hold that, Disu.
Yeah. I can't lie. That's why I don't laugh at injuries, because the way Arsenal fans were laughing at Rodri's ACL, and their just whole front three just got scattered, collapsed in the space of a month. So yeah, man, those kind of shouts, you're speaking it to existence. It's bad.
It's crazy how like fans really get giddy when players get injured. I can't get behind it at all either. If I'm breaking it and it's like, oh man, but I'm not rejoicing at a player getting injured, man.
Yeah, no, I can't do it. Like even for me personally, even if it's like someone I'm going up against in like the league, like if it's a league competitor, I would want them to be at their best when we beat them. So when guys for example, someone like Saka, like I wasn't rejoicing over him like because he's Arsenal are going to fall off after that, or Havertz or Martinelli. But if you do, I mean, cool, but it's a bit weird. It's a bit weird rejoicing injuries. It's strange. But Son for a Son was cold though. I'm not lying. That did make me laugh when he said that.
Cool. And then his second question is, who scores more until the end of the season? The United strikers or Marino? So obviously he's 2 up now.
You know what? That actually might be a tight one. That actually might be a tight one. That actually might be a tight one. As much as I want to dismiss the question, he might be onto something.
So this includes Europa League as well.
Oh man,
we have to watch that space.
Does this include Europa League as well?
Let's put everything, all cops and cops. Let's just do Prem. Let's just do Prem.
I think collectively Xerxes and Hoyland have about 7 goals left.
Wow,
that's
a lot.
That's kind.
Really?
That's kind.
I think they have 4 so far this season collectively. Hold on. In the league, so Hoyland has 2, and Xerxes I think has maybe 3 in the league. Yeah, he's got 3, so they've got 5 collectively as of now.
Yeah. Yeah, he might actually outscore all of them. I can't lie.
Yeah, Marino, aka RVP.
And Marino already has 4.
Oh wow.
We're only doing the rest of the season, but he has 4, so he's 2-0 up on them as of this weekend.
I'm gonna say yes, just because from what I saw today, I don't know, man. I don't know about Hoyland and Xerxes. I don't know for them guys.
Oh, so now you're going to get the guy you got wow, I can't keep up with you. You just told us you got an agenda, Mikel Marino, and in the very next segment, you're backing him to outscore 2 strikers.
Yeah, but Hoyland and Xerxes, that's a Mazin though. Like,
how does your friend describe him? He's adapted,
versatile.
You're literally agreeing.
But Hoyland and Xerxes, they're not strikers. They're just guys like up
Who's
front.
going to score more goals between now and the end of the season? Curtis Jones or Hoyland and Xerxes?
No, Curtis Jones won't start. So I'm going to say Hoyland and Xerxes.
So there's a level. There is a level to the madness, like you're saying. So there's a kind of eye you are. There is a positive spin that you have towards Mikel Marino for you to say that. That's what I'm saying.
No, it's just Hoyland and Xerxes are just that bad.
Okay.
Like, that's
I think they'll get more. I think they'll just about somehow wrangle together like 5 or 6, and he'll get like 5. Cool. Next one. Sammy say underscore. You guys will know him as a guy who called Lindelof a 7-year project. I think we're in year 8 now. Can you bring back the Saudi bound award this week, please and thanks? Sure. Who would you have Saudi bound this week, Julian?
Sterling, without a shadow of a doubt. That is, yeah. Prepared to speak Arabic, brother. Like that's it's crazy. Might have to link up with Tony in that. I'll be real.
Tony. That was a team, to be honest. How's he doing out there?
Yeah, you earning peas, isn't it? That's what you need to know.
I've seen what's his name already? He's bagging goals. Duran. But I haven't actually seen any Tony clips, any Tony stats. Let me take a quick look. Hold on.
I think I saw a clip of him scoring a hat trick the other day.
Fair enough. He's got 10 and 17 for Al Ahly. Cool. That's fine. Who's your Saudi bound this week, Shems?
Quite that true.
Yeah, I hear it. I'm gonna bring back an old faithful, old reliable Casemiro. He played today.
How can you resurrect the award?
Why is he still here? Like, I just don't understand. Like, there was a lot of chat. He was linked to Saudi in Jan, and I don't know how he didn't go to Saudi in Jan. I just don't get it. Why is he still here? So yeah, Casemiro, please, brother.
No, the fact that he's about that Liverpool game is still kind of beyond me. It's still beyond me.
Nobody yeah, Casemiro. Cool. Next one is from Jagged Ed. I seem to have noticed Mr. Mead's account activity has gradually decreased the past few weeks. Is our good brother okay? Hold on, it's got a quote tweet on it. Is that from me? Just give it a second. No, it's one of them ones where the quote tweet's not showing. I can say that he's been pretty busy off pod, but also the Chelsea was they gotta be just juggling them just a little piece. That chat. If I could screen record that chat for you listeners, it is Ad Shem's dad versus Lewis and Shem's Dan, so Ant, Dan, Meads, Lewis, Disu, Tobes, just going at it every single day. And the lines are kind of Arsenal, Chelsea, and then Tobes and Disu will like jump in on any given day, supporting either of the two sides. So it's chaotic in there. That's where
do you know what's hilarious about the main account? Yeah, you can literally see in each tweet, yeah, how like an argument from the chat got into this tweet. Like, oh, question, guys, do you think that's? And it's like, I know this came from the group chat.
Oh, fun fact. Random fun fact of the day that you didn't need.
They didn't need.
Guys,
I just thought I'd share it.
In progressive passing, but he actually played in defense. Is that impressive?
And I know they were arguing about that for 20 minutes. Like, oh, I'm gonna put this in the chat and see what everyone else is saying, and then we'll get answer there.
Oh man, cool. Next one is from Seba MRXZ. Why is Maresca getting away with things Poch was rightly criticised for?
I have to give an example.
Didn't. How many CFC players are better this season than last? Players like Gustav being restricted from their natural positions for the sake of system.
Yeah. Okay. I think first half of the season, a few players look better than they did last season. So Jackson, Enzo, he found a good role for Enzo that was getting the best out of him. I think Madueke looks better. I think he's just showing what he would already shown, to be fair. But I think Enzo and Jackson, I think they look better personally.
Saicedo? Would you put him in there?
Who?
Saicedo?
Yeah. I would say Saicedo. First half of the season, yeah. These are players that were him and Enzo were underperforming, and they were performing very well when we were playing well. So yeah, I would say there's a few players who had shown improvement under Maresca. To be honest with you, is there anybody else? I think Fofana was getting back to scratch, to be honest, but I wouldn't say that's Maresca.
Oh, just being fit, right?
And yeah, just him being fit, really. But yeah, Gusto, I think he makes a valid point about Gusto. The role clearly doesn't suit him, but he still plays him there, which is strange. So I can't argue with that one, brother. But I would say that there are a few players that had shown improvements on them.
Yeah, agreed. Next one is from Count Dracula. What is the worst transfer window scenario? 1, your club makes no signings. 2, your club sell your favorite player. 3, your club buys a player you don't rate. 4, your rival sign a player who you know is going to tear the league apart. I think sells favorite player is probably the one for me.
Sorry, what were the last two options?
Your club buys a player you don't rate.
Okay.
Your rival sign a player who you know is going to tear the league apart.
Yeah, so I wouldn't say it's the last two, and I also wouldn't say it's where you don't sign a player, because I think, I think teams have shown that whether they meant to do it or not, that sometimes you cannot sign a player and still do all right, depending on the state of the squad. So I think Tottenham's an example on the Poch. They didn't sign a single player in 2018, and they still finished in top 4. But yeah, I think it has to be probably definitely selling your best player. Yeah. By process of elimination.
Yeah, I think especially when like it's us and you don't have like many players that you watch from a perspective of joy. So when there's not that many, if you lose one, your head's gone. Like your head's gone because it's like that's just one less player that I enjoy playing for the team. How about you, Julian? What would you go with? Your club makes no signings. You sell your favorite player. Your club buys a player you don't rate. Your rival sign a player who you know is going to tear the league apart.
Yeah, I'm with you because selling your best player is definitely like the worst because I think teams sometimes underestimate like the influence that player has, and they feel like, okay, we sold him for 100 mil, we can probably replace them on a profit. And also buying a player that you don't rate. Sometimes we're football snobs, so there's been players in the past that I feel like we've bought, and I've completely changed my mind on that I didn't necessarily rate before. So the best player.
Cool.
Yeah, we're definitely stops. Because I think, for example, like Chelsea were linked with Gordon on the Tuchel, and a lot of Chelsea fans were having it. But look at him now, better than all our wingers.
Yeah, who you linked with?
Gordon.
Ah, yes, I remember that. It was similar to we were linked with Cunha. Our fans uproar when we were linked with Mane, uproar.
The Mane thing was crazy, you know.
Yeah. Man United is
It was crazy. Like the way Mane turned out. Yeah.
I can't lie. He signed Mane, and I had a headache when we signed him. Like I was like, I like him, but I don't rate him like that. And look how it turned out. So
yeah, but I think like a few of those now have given people more of an eye for that kind of signing, and they're more like open to those kind of signings now versus before. So like now, guys are like looking at an Mbuemo, they look at Awisa, they look at a few other players at low Ndaye, players at lower league clubs, Dibbling, Delap. They look at them and are like, you know what, he's good, and if you put him in this environment, I reckon he'd be even better than what we've seen so far. So yeah, I think our eyes have opened in that regard. Next one is from Miraculous Miri. Shout him out. Always sends a question in. Given Mikel's magic act with Mikel in Leicestershire, what do you think his and for my next trick moment will be? And for my next trick, the gap between us and Liverpool will widen. That's what I think his next trick is going to be. How about you, Shems? What do you think Arteta's next trick is going to be?
I don't really. Sorry, I didn't understand the question.
So obviously, he's very happy about. Oh, we brought Marino off the bench. He scored a couple of goals. Winner. We were struggling. So he's saying, what's the next like ace in his card that Arteta's gonna pull for Arsenal, basically?
Oh, to try and catch Liverpool.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie.
Don't care.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't have to answer that, bro.
What about you, Julian?
I personally, I was going to make a joke about something we said we don't relish in before, so I'm going to refrain from doing that. But I'm just saying, he can make muscles disappear. Just saying, man. Like, you don't know who's next. It's Peter Haaland.
You can, yeah, cool. DA_Adigan. Who are the 5 biggest talents in world football under 21? So we aren't going to be able to answer that, but that goes back to my point about underrated players and what the listeners want. They want to hear the underrated. Who you watching? Who you got your eye on? But I don't know who the 5 biggest are. But it's an Arsenal fan, so I feel like it was more so an angle to get us to mention Lewis Kelly.
There's Jamal Verts, Musiala.
Desiree Doué, Bradley Barcola.
There's a couple man still.
Couple man.
Couple man.
Oh, crazy.
I know Chelsea's got one. I know.
Arda Güler. Conor Bradley.
Delap. Yeah, listen, we could go all day, mate. Next one is from Warm Towel. In the spirit of Kendrick Lamar, another humble Hoyland, my first touch just went viral performance. Which strikers in recent memory have had a worse first touch than him?
Has to be Lukaku.
This is worse. Lukaku first.
Are you serious?
Brother, like you fizz it to him, it bounces back to where it came from. It's insane.
It was so mad.
No, but with the greatest respect, I know he's a footballer and he's a high level, but like obviously, not every footballer can trap a fizz.
No. That is
I'm saying. But Lukaku,
a professional expectation.
No, I get it. No, I get it. But there were times where you weren't even fizzing into Lukaku, and
it was so mad with Lukaku.
The balls can. The ball's dribbling off. Like,
bro, his first touch, like his bad first touch, became a part of his game because you can see, like he's like, I ain't got a good first touch. I need to shoot my body
he'd like kick and run it, first touch it.
Yeah.
So that's when he had that like 25 goal season in Italy. He was starting a lot deeper, and then it was then steam training through in transition. That's how Conte was able to make the best use of him. So if you guys are saying Lukaku's up there, I ain't gonna hold you. There was a Lukaku first touch watch for a reason, man.
Yeah, Timberland boots was a thing. It was real bad.
It was a moment, man. It was a moment in time, man. Cool. Next one is from the Alpha Frick. You sure his name isn't Ruben Interim instead of Amorim? Because 14 points in 14 games is egregious.
Yeah, that is crazy work.
Yeah, he's moving like he's just here. He's just here to end the season. You know, like when Ranjit came in, yeah.
He just used to talk crud and just say, yeah, these men are shit.
You know, when Ranjit came in, yeah, it got to a point where he's like, yeah, I'm cutting anyway, and these men are air.
Bro was working his notice period throughout the whole job.
He's got 14 points. He's got 14 points.
Julian hit the nail on him. He was working his notice period for months.
Before he even knew, he was like, bro, I'm out of it.
That's how Amber's moving right now.
He's got 14 points out of a possible 42. When he joined, we were 4 points off of fourth.
You were that close?
Yeah.
And now you're below Everton. Yeah, that's crazy work, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we are now 15 points off of fourth.
Would you take Moisey back?
No.
No, fair. I think he didn't get a fair shot. That's just me.
I think he did. It would have never worked out here. It just wouldn't have.
They gave him till April. I think it was pretty fair.
Hey, man, he's dealing with legends, man. Like guys like Giggs and that weren't trying to listen. Come on.
Yeah, they weren't trying to listen, but he also wasn't necessarily like an inspiring manager for the level of player it was. Like you said, meat and veg manager.
Yeah, I hear it, man. He was telling me a Ferdinand to watch like Richard Dunn in that, like
Jagielka,
crazy.
I remember when he went to Sociedad. Like he was like, bro, man. You're from Scotland, my guy. Like, keep it true. Keep it absolutely true. So yeah, I have no regrets, but I respect him. He's a good Premier League mid-table manager. Like, no doubt about it, man. And final question from Baffled C. 28% win rate for Amorim. When do other questions get asked?
Everyone's asking the same thing. Like, whoa, what are you saying about Amorim? What's wrong with him? What's going on? Like, bro, you're seeing it, fam.
Come around the corner. Let me chat to you. Where are you from, fam? I don't know. Where you from, me, man? Yeah, bro, I'm from Portugal still. Come. Let me chat to you.
Your trainers are nice still.
Man was going mad because he was wearing Moncler. I hate football fans, man. But he hadn't managed a single game. Guys were going mad because he was wearing Moncler. Now look at us.
Hey, man, the state of modern football.
There's not much more to say, man. This is like the worst nightmares playing out. Like, this is the worst we've looked, I think, under any. Like, other managers have looked bad, but they've had like a period of playing good before it's gotten this bad. It hasn't gotten this, and this is. I know this is the worst set of players, but you can't tell me that in every single game your management is not able to make up some level of difference between the players that we have in your system. This is just not it. So, like, everyone keeps saying he can't lose the job. They brought him in. They see beyond the season, but 14 points in 14 games. That's 14 points out of 42 games. Only Europa can save him. Manchester United finishing 15th.
I saw a tweet here. Someone said Amorim should be selling Oud in Dubai.
That's so funny. Because somebody like created an AI version of that picture and they've just dropped it in the Mugger chat. So yeah.
For you, brother.
For you, my friends.
For you, my friend. Half price.
I think this season has shown, that like, because I never thought I'd see a worse season than Chelsea 15-16. Then we done the Potter season. We finished 12. I don't think I'll see anything worse. Yeah, we finished 12. Yeah.
Fucking hell.
And then I didn't think I see anything worse than that. And now there are two teams who have proceeded to perform worse than that currently. One of them looks certain to finish lower than 12. The other might equal it. So I think, if anything, one thing I've learned this season is that the league is at such a high level that if you don't get it right, like transfer windows, managers, blah blah blah, you could actually end up in scary hours in terms of your league position. You know, like when fans do their prediction at the start of the season, and they have like, it looks like an agenda where they have a team like lower down. Like, those things could actually happen now. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Guys, as always, a pleasure.
Peace.
Yeah.
Yo. When I spit bars in a rave, man, I go hard like Santan.